Well, the mics are back on, and this is Radio Entrepreneurs, and I'm always excited to talk to entrepreneurs, but today's a big day for Radio Entrepreneurs. We have a studio filled with guests, and I just want to make sure I do a decent job, but more important is in the introduction of this guest. Very privileged to have Dana Gavish, Head of Entrepreneurship at Ben-Gurion University. Welcome.
Hi, hello. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's a little too premature, as I said before. We'll wait till the end and you'll tell us. I stumbled upon Ben-Gurion University. I've, done work supporting education in the Negev for many years. And during one time, I was thinking about donations. I went online and started doing some research, and I found Ben-Gurion University, and I donated to the Women's Studies. I think for I just think it was Women's Studies in general, and that just opened up a door that I didn't think I was opening. And thanks to your staff, and she hasn't let me go since the donation. And I'd like you to tell our listeners about Ben-Gurion, because it's not just a university; it's a very important place for the future.
Right. Well, thanks. It's great to be here. First of all, I'll tell you what happens. Israel's Negev region is about 60% of Israel's land, but about 10% of the population lives there.
Right.
So it's a kind of peripheral area where most people just don't go to visit. But once you visit, you're hooked. And that's what happened to me. So I'm actually a Jerusalemite. I was working for the Hebrew University for almost 13 years before I came to the Negev, and then I got a phone call.
Right.
So it was a phone call.
Right.
So I got a phone call saying, come and visit. Check out our new high-tech park, see what we're doing at the university. And that was it. As soon as I came, I saw a university that does things differently. And by differently, I mean, this is a university that has a vision in mind, and the vision is regional development. Most universities don't have regional development in mind. They have excellence in research, in teaching, many students, the whole
more by
campus
technical
life.
specialty.
Exactly.
Not geographic.
Here's a university that is named after Israel's first prime minister, David Ben-Gurion.
Who believed in the Negev.
And David Ben-Gurion said, you need to develop the Negev. He went to live in the Negev and give an example to others. So it seems like at the university, from top to bottom, from the president to the management, staff, researchers, everybody, including the students, everybody knows why they wake up and come in the morning. They come to develop the region, they come to help it flourish. And this is something that makes you kind of want to wake up and go to work. And people look up when they go there, and they know what they're working for. So I came and saw this amazing high-tech park. Multinationals, you name it. Dell EMC, IBM, Lockheed Martin, Wix, other companies all sitting there doing their R&D, their research development, and there's a reason why they're there. They're there because they want to be close to the university, to the talent, to the research. So I saw something huge happening, and I said, hey, I have to be part of that. So I made a big move. It was a big personal move for me.
You had to move your family, right?
I didn't actually technically move the family, but I started driving, serious driving, but still it's definitely worth it. And the reason I came again is because I thought that so much more can be done on the regional level, and also by connecting researchers, students, the staff, the high-tech park, and everything else that goes around the university, everything together with an academic program around entrepreneurship. I saw huge potential there. So I came and started strategizing. And
Were you alone
chance,
then? Were you working alone?
No, I came to BGN Technologies, which is the tech transfer company.
Right.
I knew tech transfer. I've been doing that for almost 13 years at Hebrew U. So this was my comfort zone. But clearly, if you want to make a big move in life, you need a reason. So it was clear that I needed something else, and that was featuring entrepreneurship in a different way. So I had to justify for myself this big move, and I did. So when I moved, I started strategizing, looking, doing the SWOT analysis, what's good, what's not. Started thinking.
So logical.
So logical. That's what you do. And something amazing happened. There was a tender by the Israeli Council of Higher Education that realized exactly that realized that things need to change in the campuses. And the tender was called the New Campus. And one of the strongest elements of that tender was a call for all universities and colleges in Israel to apply for funding for the formation of new entrepreneurship centers. So it really kind of exactly what I needed, because what it did was speed up a process that would probably have taken me a year or two in 3 or 4 months eventually. That's what it did. So we worked very hard all that throughout the summer, the holidays, the Jewish holidays, no holidays for me. But eventually we actually submitted that tender and won 6 million shekels for the formation of Yazamut 360. Yazamut is the Hebrew word for entrepreneurship.
Right.
So we have a new entrepreneurship center at the university, a new strategy, and new plans. And I have to say one more thing. The university management has been so supportive to that endeavor and to the whole entrepreneurship issue that they've decided to double this amount. They don't have to. They don't have to put all that in matching, but they will. So now we have double that money over the next 4 years to start new activities.
Very nice. You know, you said a few things, and I'm thinking the whole time, you have my head spinning. I've been very concerned with education, higher education in this country, and actually in Canada too. I think that the models need to be revised. And you said right away, we're doing things differently. Number two, and I'll just cover a couple of them and say, I'll let you pick where you want to go. Entrepreneurship. I see entrepreneurship as, one, what it's done for Israel is amazing. It taps upon the creativity, self-initiative of people, individuality, which I think are good pioneering spirits of this country, of Israel as well. How do you tap upon those things, and you've clearly done that, and make sure that you can do it differently? Because you really want to provide an environment that says to people, I don't want to go to school in Boston or Chicago or Toronto or Montreal. I want to go to school in Israel, because I'm going to get a different education that's better for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say we have 2 goals in mind, or had 2 goals in mind when we started thinking how we'd like to structure. The first is that we need to create a different learning experience. Today, it's just clear that it's not enough to have academic grades or academic studies.
Correct.
When you go looking for a job, employers expect you to have more lines on your CV. It could be volunteer work, it could be I initiated something, I started a new community, this teamwork, this kind of project.
The development of the whole person.
Different skill sets
Right.
are needed today, and you need to have those little lines that show that you've had this experience. Not necessarily, by the way, by the word entrepreneurship, I don't mean necessarily your own startup.
Mm-hmm.
I've never started a company before. I'm an entrepreneur and I work for a university. But it's about creative thinking. It's about teamwork. It's about being able to listen to others and to actually work together. You know, to stumble upon obstacles and make sure you continue to grow. It's all that, those skills that you need to make sure that someone you employ actually has. So to make sure the students have that kind of experience, we'd like to add a new layer to the learning experience. And that is what we do as a part of the Entrepreneurship Center. So I can give you an example
Yes,
as to how we'd like to do that. So I'm very proud of the flagship project that we did launch already this year, and it's called the Cactus Capital Fund. So it's a very special thing. Actually, there's no other fund like it, and I'll explain why. So first of all, it's a student-led fund. When I came to the university president said, look, I'd like to give $1 million for student entrepreneurship. Go. Now, what do you do with $1 million? It's a great thing, but we need to structure something that actually works. And you can't just throw money at students. You have to make sure that they have the right abilities, the right mentorship to do something with that. So we've created the fund and we started thinking, and we knew that we wanted to give them small amounts, relatively small amounts of money. So we created these 3 routes or paths for money. $20,000 for more established things, established teams with a concept, with an idea, maybe already a website going on, maybe a prototype of some kind. This is a little more established. But we also have investment rounds for $5,000 in 2 ways. $5,000 for only an idea, a technical idea, and $5,000 for social entrepreneurship. Because if there's one thing that is also special about Ben-Gurion University, it is the fact that it is not in the center of Israel. It is the periphery. And that means that most of the students get a kind of college-like experience when they come. They live nearby the university, their friends are there, they do a lot of community work, and there's a whole social thing going on. It's very special for Ben-Gurion University. So social entrepreneurship is also something that we like to support. So there we were with our three, different routes, and we thought that in order for the fund to be really connected to the students, we need a student to run the fund. Mm-hmm. So we took a student, a fourth-year student, undergrad, in industrial engineering, and we're so happy to have him. His name is Roy Kimchi. He's doing a fantastic job. He came along, started structuring, created the website, started working, and then around January he issued a call for proposals. Now January is midterm between all the exams. They're very busy, the students. They don't have a lot of time during January, and they had to fill up a very tedious form. We made it difficult for them to really go through the whole form and see how enthusiastic they all are. So they fill up the form, and within less than 4 weeks, he had 60 different applications for funding of different entrepreneurial ideas, which was lovely. We didn't know what to expect.
Not all by individuals, some by groups of people?
Well, they were required already to be in groups.
Okay.
They need to team up. They needed to team up.
I'm taking notes.
No, this is great. So they needed to team up. They needed to come up with a solid idea. And we started looking at the applications that we received and started thinking what we'd like to invest in. But that was only one part of the whole experience that we wanted to create through Cactus. By then he named it Cactus Capital, so we already had a name for the fund. But that was only a part of it. Because if we look at the entrepreneurship process from idea to a project or a product eventually, you need investments along the way, preferably many. So we wanted to teach the students that. What is a smart investment? How to be a good analyst. And this is a completely different, different skill that you need to master. If you want to understand investments, you need a proper course for that. So we added a course powered by Fresh Fund, which is another fund in Israel. They created an analyst course for us, and they joined the fund. So again, we issued a call for proposals. This time for the course. And this time we had to close down registration after 3 days. Because in 3 days he received 130 different applications to attend a course, and we had only 24 seats.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's real thirst. This is not academic, not credited, extra time, extra. And 130 people wanted to attend. From all faculties, by the way. Really important to say. We did have people coming from all faculties. So there we had this course going on after filtering them. And they're actually graduating next week. They're having their graduation ceremony. And the thing is that these guys, they're already considering themselves as an elite squad, the investment commando of some kind, because they know that once they graduate, they'll be actually getting a first-hand experience in practicing what they've just learned. So they will be acting as scouters in the campuses. We made sure that they're not in their last year of studies because we want them active in the campus during next year, looking for the next investment opportunities, for the next technologies, and also the excellent ones will actually get a seat at the investment committee of Cactus Capital. And they'll be making investment decisions on projects by their fellow students. So we have students investing in students, powered and managed by students.
Time flies, and I feel bad about that, but what I like that you've done is you've sort of recreated a real market process for the development of entrepreneurship, and you've created enough diversity and complexity that you can appeal to the different types of people that could become entrepreneurs and need to express their creativity. So I really like the model that you've done. Clearly who manages it becomes more important than the model, and I think the fact that you picked a student to do it is really quite exciting versus a lot of schools would have picked an academic to manage the process. And I think you're right to sort of put it in the hands of the people who understand the process that much better. You know, hopefully we're going to get to talk a lot more over the next few years about Ben-Gurion University. But if people are interested in it, and if there are entrepreneurs or people with entrepreneurial children, how would they find the school? How do they find you?
It is so easy. We're called Yazamut 360, and the best thing you can do is just, take our website, check out our new portal. We have a portal that describes all the events in the Negev, everything around entrepreneurship, yazamut360.com.
Great. Everybody, we've been...
Spell it.
They want us to spell it.
So
You spell
YA,
Yeah.
God, Yazamut.
Don't ask me to spell
Don't
it.
ask me to spell it.
Y-A-Z-A.
YAZA
M-U-T.
MUT 360.
Don't ask me to spell
Right.
even English. I flunk spelling every year. It's not one of my strengths. We've been speaking with Dana Gavish, Chief Spelling Officer for Ben-Gurion University, and also Head of Entrepreneurship. My name is Jeffrey Davis, and stay tuned. More stories of Ben-Gurion on Radio Entrepreneurs throughout this year. And we are going to take a break.